1 in 4 of us will experience mental health at some point during our lifetime.
Despite the proximity, only 1 in 8 people with mental health receive treatment.
Many feel isolated, ashamed, and unable to reach out.
And with the recent global pandemic, treatment and support is delayed, with services overwhelmed with a significant increase in those experiencing mental health.
It is more important than ever that we educate ourselves and others in this fight against mental health.
It's time to talk.
This year's Mental Health Awareness Week focuses on combating loneliness.
Experiencing mental health can be a very lonely place to be. It can happen to anyone at any time. It doesn't discriminate.
Remember, it's okay not to be okay.
And you are not alone.
We have united to share our stories and experiences and to raise awareness about a subject close to all of our hearts.
Together, everyone achieves more.
Talk me through the beginning of your experience with mental health.
I was diagnosed at 17 years old with depression by a doctor. However, I do feel that I was experiencing mental health for years under the radar prior to that. If I could pinpoint it to an age, I'd probably say around the age of 12 was when I first started experiencing mental health, but obviously at the time I didn't understand what mental health was or what it meant. And I'm talking about over 10 years ago when there wasn't awareness about it, it wasn't spoken about, social media wasn't as big as it is now, and I certainly didn't know anybody that was experiencing mental health. I went into the appointment with the doctor and the doctor just said to me, you have 2 choices, you either take medication or you attend counselling. I chose to attend counselling at 17 and at the time it helped, but it didn't mean my mental health went away because it was really only just the beginning. And at 20 I was diagnosed with anxiety, and out of the 2, anxiety has always been the worst. I was very reluctant to reach out to anyone, people that I know. Don't really know a lot about my mental health because I always keep it to myself. I mask my mental health with humour because if I make people laugh it distracts them from asking me how I am. It took me years and years before I finally accepted that as much as mental health is a part of me, and it probably always will be, it doesn't define who I am. Now that I do feel I'm in control of it and I'm in a much more positive place, I'm able to actually openly talk about my mental health.
What support did you have and how did it help you?
2 years ago, I had a mental breakdown after experiencing trauma, and it was the worst time of my life. I just completely lost it to the point that I didn't want to be here anymore. My anxiety consumed my life. I had daily panic attacks and I just was a shell of a person inside my own body. And I just completely broke down. I was put on a suicide watch where a mental health professional would contact me daily to essentially check that I was still alive. I had my counselling session once a week and that lady saved my life because without her I wouldn't be here today. At the time I'd just started my photo shoots and I'd turn up and I'd felt free and I didn't feel anxious because it provided me with a few hours of escape. And I certainly, even now 2 years on, don't look at myself and think I'm a model and I want a modelling career. I use it because it was a lifeline for me. And I guess the people that I've worked with probably don't have that awareness or realise how significant these photo shoots are to me and my recovery. And I went to counselling for a long period of time and I was a dead plant that basically needed nurturing back to life. And bit by bit she built me back up to feeling like a human being again. I remember I said to my counsellor, I don't know what being happy feels like. I don't know what being happy looks like. And she asked me why, and I just said to her, no matter what I've had externally, no matter the things that I've achieved, it's never been enough, because internally there was always something missing, and I was always looking for validation that I was good enough, because how I've always felt that I weren't. She said to me, think about things that make you feel happy, what gives you that little feeling every now and then. And I started to make a list of the things that I enjoyed, and she said to me, do more of what makes you happy. And that mantra stuck with me ever since she said it to me. That is what I do now. I make a list of things that I enjoy and I make sure that I do them, and little by little it built up to the point where I did actually feel happiness. When I got signed off counselling, it was scary. For a good few months I thought this can go either two ways. I can let what's happened to me destroy me, or I can let it strengthen me. And I chose the path of letting it strengthen me. I know for the last 3-4 months I keep saying that I feel really weird, and I realised that the weird feeling is actually me being content, me feeling happy, and me being in control of my mental health, which is the first time in 10 years I've ever actually been in control of it.
If you could talk to your younger self, what would you say to them?
If I could tell my younger self anything, it would be that in 10 years' time, you're going to be telling the story of a young girl who was lost, and it's going to be told by a woman who is strong.
Why are you sharing your story today?
Mental health isn't a one-size-fits-all. Although people can have the same diagnosis, it doesn't mean they're going to experience the same symptoms, and it's important that we raise awareness for individual cases rather than trying to categorise everyone into one mould. To be the girl that wanted to end it all, to now being the girl that's sitting here creating a campaign about Mental Health Awareness Week, I've done a 360 in the last 2 years, and I am proud of myself.
Ups and downs all the time. It's how you go through.